Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 61 of the Sports Blitz as we are coming at you on a Thursday night from inside our respective homes. As always, yeah, exactly. Hopefully nobody's around. As always, I'm Robbie, joined as always by Doug. Doug, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Hey, Robbie, guess what?
Why?
I have some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
We have a decision on the President of the United States. It's me.
Oh my goodness! Oh, I was wondering who the spoiler candidate was going to be.
I'm a write-in.
It's Doug Simon, folks. Yes.
Yes. So if I get whisked
away.
If I could say that word, that'd be great. If I get whisked off by the Secret Service, you know exactly what happened, and I'll continue once I get into.
He's going to make the Sports Blitz great again.
I am going to make the Sports Blitz. Oh no!
No.
Yeah, we can do that. We can make it great again.
Anyway, good as always to see him. Good as always
doing well.
Good, doing great. But yeah, no, it's doing great. No, very happy to be back for another episode, and very happy to have all of you, which is probably like 10 of you, joining us here, whether it be on YouTube or on SoundCloud. If you have been living under a rock or in a cave, again, welcome as always. I would go back, especially this week. Yeah, it's been a very trying week, to say the least. We won't get too much into that, but I would come out, watch the episode, and then go right back inside.
There's a lot going on, and the best thing to do, Robbie, because there's a lot going on, and you don't want to watch the TV, except for maybe cable or streaming. Watch the Sports Blitz, because we will keep you entertained.
Yes, we will keep you entertained, and we'll keep each other drained. I don't know. I was trying to find a word that rhymed with entertained, and it didn't land quite as well as I would have thought. So we're gonna move on.
Well, I'll see you later, Robbie. It's nice to work with you.
Yeah. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Just a whole episode. Just literally a whole episode of just our respective rooms. Just a whole episode of just people looking into our little studios here.
My room. I'll take you around my room here and whatever. Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Well, let's get into the actual sports part of the Sports.
Let's get into it, man.
Let's get into it. And we're going to start with, obviously, a team that we have talked about at length these past few weeks, and a team that continues to absolutely frustrate the living daylights out of all of us, and that is the New England Patriots. Not the Red Sox, who Doug has a blaze on his head. We'll get to them later. But I know you're all Red Sox tonight. Good. But yeah, the New England Patriots, who dropped their fourth game in a row this past weekend, falling to the Buffalo Bills. To drop to 2-5 on the year. Now, listen, I'll say this. It was not nearly as bad as the performance against San Francisco a week ago or 2 weeks ago now. It was a very exciting game. It definitely saw some promise and improvement on the offensive side of the football, or at least compared to that San Francisco game, which there was a very low bar set to begin with. But anyway.
It wasn't chocolate.
No, wasn't chocolate. No Hershey's, no Reese's, no
metal
cake.
Bar, you don't want to eat it.
No, don't want to eat that.
Bad.
No. Leave it. Just leave it alone.
Bad.
Yeah. But Doug, I wanted to ask you, before we get into the Patriots as a whole here, just your reactions to Sunday's game, because like I said, compared to the week before, definitely a lot closer, but still at the end of the day, the Pats still come up short against the Bills.
So close. And guess what? I was going to do a little scene in a few minutes after my opinion. I'll do a little scene of this will be
Oh boy.
what Cam Newton was actually doing the last play that the Patriots had the ball. He fumbled it. I will show you exactly what the actual situation was.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
I'm sure you are. It's not really that exciting, but I thought I'd show it to you.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't have many words except for the fact that this is just not a good team. It's just not a good team.
No.
And I think some of it stems from and again we'll talk about the Patriots as a whole, but I think the game was better. I think Cam played better.
Yeah.
And I saw fleeting moments of wow, this is great. And hey, wait, he's got it. Oh, nice. So there was some fleeting moments, especially in the second
half, especially. I was just about
second half, especially. There was a lot of moments there that you would, as a Patriots fan, you would be like, oh, that was so much better than last week.
Right.
But again, another loss.
Right.
So my whole thing is, and we can start getting into depth about the Patriots in as a whole, but they're just not a good team. They're just not a good team right now.
They don't have the weapons. And I mean, last year they didn't have the weapons, obviously, especially in the receiver core, but they had Tom Brady. And I think that's the
but Robbie, even last year, Tom Brady was having a problem not having weapons, right?
But they still won. But no, I understand that. But they still won 13 games.
Of course, because they had 12
games,
Brady.
Whatever it was. I understand. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. That's my point. Is that this year the flaws on this team are being even more exposed by the fact that they do not have Tom Brady and the quarterback situation. By the way, and I know, we were just sort of briefly touching for a moment to begin with on the offense. But we can't take the onus off the defense here. The defense, I mean, especially the last 2 weeks, the defense has looked horrific. I'm just gonna use that word. If you looked horrific. When the offense, I mean, it just goes to show you what this 2020 Patriots team is. That right when their offense starts getting going in that second half of the Buffalo game, the defense forgets how to defend. And literally every time they go down and score, Buffalo goes down and score right away. I mean, it was just so frustrating because you saw the offense finally starting to come to life, finally starting to put together in that second half. And the defense, instead of keeping them in that game and giving Cam and the offense a shot, which by the way, they had anyway at the very end of that game, the defense is unable to do anything and just lets Buffalo go right up and down the field on them for counter scores, so to speak. So the defense, there's a lot of frustration and bad play to go around on both sides of the football. Period. End of story.
I agree with that. It's very, very frustrating. Very frustrating because we've had the last 20 years to think about how great this team was, and then all of a sudden we're in the depths of despair, so to speak. Again, that's a little dramatic.
Is this what losing feels like?
Yeah.
Is this what other teams feel like when they have been playing us the last 20 years?
I think we got it.
Is this what Patriots teams of like the 90s at certain points felt like?
Yeah. And I was watching some of those Patriots of the 90s teams, and believe me, you felt it. It was there. It was there. There were some fleeting moments because, you had Drew Bledsoe at some point.
You didn't make a Super Bowl back in
the late 90s. No, of course not. But I guess what I'm saying is that they weren't terrible. But like early 90s, not good. Yeah, not good, man.
Not good.
This is what losing feels like, and I understand. We've had it before, but Yes, it's just frustrating because they're just a bad team.
Yeah, no,
I hate to even have those words come out of my mouth, but that's
I know, it's like yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. No, it's
we're a bad. I mean, bad team.
yeah. Hard to say those words.
Yeah, hard.
In the same sentence.
I know. Together, right next to each other. Yeah.
Correct. I don't like to say it too many times because it gets me a little queasy.
Yeah. If you say it too many times, other things may happen as well. So
exactly. So I'm going to stop with that right
now. But it is interesting because one of the sort of narratives post game after Buffalo, and I wanted to get your take on this, is the thought or the narrative of, is it time for Bill Belichick to consider a change of quarterback? Obviously, Cam has had his moments, but he also has had his struggles. I think, obviously, in the aftermath of the frustration of Cam's fumble there inside the 30-yard line or whatever it was, as the Pats were trying to go down for a late, possibly game-winning or game-tying score, to have that happen, I think definitely just added to the collective frustration with Cam these past few weeks, and obviously, again, has led to questions about the quarterback position, about whether or not, given the current state of things with the Patriots, if it is time to consider making a change. Now, Bill Belichick, for what it's worth, came around and said, that Cam's their guy going forward, not even entertaining any sort of discussion about a quarterback change. And if you remember, obviously, there was not the situations were different, but we did sort of have that fleeting discussion with when Tom Brady and his Patriots team was 2-2 right after that big Kansas City loss. I think those situations are a little bit different, but obviously, let me just get your take on this, Doug. Is there anything to this idea that maybe it's time for Bill to start considering an alternative at that position at this juncture?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And the reason I say absolutely not is because Cam is your best quarterback on this team.
Right.
I know he's not playing the way he should.
But compared to the alternatives,
compared to Stidham, who hasn't showed us anything. Compared to Stidham, who hasn't showed us anything.
And Brian Hoyer.
When he comes in, Brian Hoyer would probably be absolutely your backup because Stidham hasn't showed anything. At least Hoyer knows the plays. He knows how to pass the ball. You've seen him do that. And you're not going to have Hoyer start. If Cam gets hurt, Hoyer comes in.
You did have Hoyer start against Kansas City, and look how that turned out. Whereas Stidham actually,
right?
Stidham looked even a little bit better than Hoyer that night. But if those are the two that you're going to be sort of jockeying between, then you're in real trouble. Cam gives you your best shot right now. Period. End of story.
You're certainly not changing quarterbacks at this juncture yet. No. I mean, I wouldn't do that.
I understand Pats fans are frustrated, but you got to think about things logically. Or maybe these same Pats fans are okay. I mean, maybe there's the same people who are like, calling for the Pats to what's the word for it, to sort of tank for Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. But
Bill's not going to tank.
No,
Bill will put people in or take people out to have the suggestion of losing the game. But he won't tank because he's not that kind of coach. He's old school coach.
No, of course not.
That's going to go out and win every game.
Or at least try to win every game.
Everybody's talking about how he should, maybe win the 2 Jets games and then lose everything else.
He's not going to do that. He's not going to. Period of story. He's not going to do that.
He's not going to do that.
No, not at all. And I mean, it's interesting because when you look at it, and I know we're gonna touch on this here, so kind of a good segue. But when you look at what the Pats did at the trade deadline, first of all, they only really made one move, which I felt kind of interesting. But their one move was to be a buyer. Their one move, they didn't, sell out and get rid of Gilmore and all these other guys whose names
Gilmore's
have been
hurt
bounced
anyway.
around. I mean, yeah, obviously there's that. But basically, the one move that they made was a buyer move, and it was to add to a position that they desperately need help at, and that is the wide receiver position by acquiring Isaiah Ford, a wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins. So before I start getting
which is an interesting move because that's an
interdivisional
move, which doesn't happen often. But go ahead.
But obviously, with the Brian Flores connection, between him and Bill, just saying. I mean, obviously,
Yep.
You never know what goes on behind the scenes. But no, I'm just gonna ask you before we get into the trade deadline as a whole. What was your reaction to the one move that the Pats made? Like I said, acquiring Isaiah Ford, wide receiver from the Miami Dolphins.
My reaction is that it can't be any worse than anybody else we have.
It's definitely the wide receiver position, which we desperately need. I mean,
he's 6'2", 195, or a little close to 200 pounds. He's 6'2". He's, and maybe he's got a little speed to him. He's 27 years old, so
he strikes me as a bit of a slot guy, more of a slot receiver.
I think he's more of a slot receiver. Yeah. Absolutely. But I think what's interesting is that the Patriots were probably like the only team that really did anything for 2 days. They also picked up off the waiver wire. They picked up 2 guys off the waiver wire too. One was Dante Moncrief, who used to play for Pittsburgh.
Okay.
They say he's horrible. He's a wide receiver. He's about the same
height.
But
again, compared to some of what we have right now on the roster,
better. We have Edelman, who's hurt, and who knows if he's coming back.
We have N'Keal Harry.
That's definitely a subject that we need to talk about.
True.
Robbie.
True.
And then we got N'Keal Harry, who's also like freaking always hurt. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, put in Olszewski over him. I don't care how tall. I don't care how tall he is.
Matthew Slater.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, put you and I in as receivers. I could care less.
We're Foxborough now. Here we go.
I'm just tired of it because N'Keal Harry's always hurt.
Yeah.
He's fragile.
I
know. Even when he's out there, he doesn't seem to get it. He doesn't seem to be able to run the right routes.
It's frustrating.
Or do what he's supposed to do. It's really super frustrating.
It's frustrating because you feel like he should be better than this, but because of the injuries and all that, it never seems to get there for him. It really doesn't.
And it's even more interesting that some guys can play very, very well in college, but it doesn't translate to the pros.
Oh, yes, of course.
And he may be one of them. He may be one of them that just doesn't. But if you think about who we could have taken in that slot, I just look back and go, okay, N'Keal Harry was the one you wanted, Bill.
Yeah. Unfortunately, hindsight is always the best. Fortunately, hindsight's always the
absolutely, and it's not. Again, it's not a big deal now. He did what he needed to do.
Just like the Boston Celtics. Just like the Boston Celtics chose Kelly Olynyk over Giannis. I mean, it's kind of hindsight is always the best.
That was a huge freaking mistake.
Yeah, I mean that was a bit of the biggest blunders you could do. I don't know how.
That was huge.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I don't know.
So the trade deadline was more Patriots than anybody else. And again, we brought people in. It wasn't a lot. I mean, that was really, you're right. That was really Isaiah Ford was really the only one that we kind of brought in. We did, again, pick a couple waiver wire guys up off the. And again, these 2 guys are actually on the practice spot. They're actually not even on the team. So. I don't know. One's a defensive tackle. His name is also Isaiah. So the big joke on sports radio is that the Patriots picked up all the Isaiahs that were available. I'm like, oh my God, really? That's all we have to say about these guys. because the defensive tackles in Isaiah too. So it's like we have Isaiah Wynn. We have I'll get you that name of the defensive tackle. His first name is Isaiah. I just can't remember his last name. And then Isaiah Ford.
Yeah. Well, while you're getting it, kind of just piggybacking off that, I mean, were you surprised that they did not do more either buying or selling at the trade deadline? Or were you sort of surprised with the, I guess you could call it sort of lack of moves that they made on either way of looking at it?
I guess I think so, but the fact is that I don't think that there was, because of the inaction of other teams. I just don't. And Bill's crying poor, and I guess maybe we'll get to that in a few minutes. But because he's crying poor. Oh, I don't have any room. I don't have any money. I don't have this. I don't have that.
Yeah, I keep hearing
I don't
that.
have cap space. I don't have money. Does he understand that he's got cap space now, and all he has to do is get rid of some guys at the end of the thing because these guys opted out? So he's got like, I don't know, $40 million to work with or whatever it is, because it doesn't go against the cap. So I mean, that's fine. That's all well and good. I am a little surprised that they didn't pick up a little bit more or try to go after a little better wide receiver. And again, I don't know about this guy yet. I saw him on YouTube. Every time they pick somebody up, I YouTube him.
I saw him on
Of course, it's going to be his best stuff.
On news highlights.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be his best stuff that's on YouTube. So,
yeah.
I mean, he doesn't look like a bad guy. And let's see, who was it? Who was it that was talking about him? It was a teammate that said he's really good. He's a good wide receiver if used in the right ways. He's right receiver, obviously, but I think it was
wasn't Fitzpatrick, was it, or something like?
No, it was somebody that's on our team that used to be on.
Okay.
What's his name? He gets punts. I'm sorry, folks. I just, for some reason, my names are not registering tonight.
No, Shufsky.
No, the other guy. I can see him in my head. I just can't. I cannot get his name right now. Anyway, they said he was pretty good, so we'll see what happens. Well, I don't know anything about him, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. That's for sure. And you did bring up a point that I'd forgotten and neglected to sort of jot down preparing for this episode, and that is the Julian Edelman situation. Obviously, Edelman on the IR and out at least 3 weeks with injury. Definitely not what the Patriots wanted to see, given their wide receiver woes to begin with. So I guess the question, Doug, that I want to ask you, and you kind of alluded to, I'm sort of asking you a question based off your previous comment in a sense, was that do you think this is just a 3 week or so thing, or could this potentially be more longer term where Julian Edelman will be on the sidelines and thus the Pats wide receiving core will have even less depth than it did just this past week even?
Well, logically, it depends on the injury itself. From what I heard, I don't have any inside information, but just that I hear on the radio or see on Twitter or whatever. But what I heard, it might be the knee. It was the knee that he had surgery on.
He had a procedure. Yeah, he had a procedure. Yeah, just to clarify,
the procedure's putting him out for 3 weeks. I mean, this is Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman comes and plays with a collapsed lung. I mean, this guy's pretty tough.
It must be. It's got to be something like
somebody who has inside information said that the knee was bone to bone. If the knee was bone to bone and there's no cartilage in there, that could be a problem.
Right.
So I don't know how serious it is. But if I know him, he'll try to come back because he's pretty tough. I'm hoping he comes back, but again, I'm going to put it out there to you, Robbie. Is this the last time we see Julian Edelman in the Patriots uniform?
I don't think so. I will say it that way. I truly don't think that he is done. I mean, and that may be more of my heart talking than my head at this point. But
You
my
do that a
true,
lot.
I do, yeah. I believe me. Um, but my true, honest opinion is that he is not done. But I'm prepared to be completely wrong on that because, again, I don't have any real. I don't have a good feeling, so to speak, about just the from what I'm hearing, does not sound good. But I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic about it. But we shall have to wait and see.
So it was. I just looked it up. Sorry, I did a little in-show research, and it was actually Adam Gase, who is now the head coach
Jets
of the
coach,
Jets, who was, I believe, the head coach
for the Dolphins.
Of looking it up. Was head coach of the Dolphins. He actually praised the move and thinks that Isaiah Ford is a very good player. Now, Adam Gase, terrible coach. So
yeah.
I believe what he says.
Should you put much stock in it? Probably not.
It's a wait and see thing, but it's nice to have somebody from the outside, and the Patriots are just about to play Adam Gase on Monday night. So it's one of those things. Well, why would he say anything if he thought that it was that it wasn't necessarily true? I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I just know that it was Adam Gase. I looked it up. But yeah, that's who it was.
By the way, if you hear us making or saying random things that sound kind of random in the middle of our sentences, we do have a live chat going. Which
we're not just being random.
If you're new to the show, we'll type things into our chat. Just for fun. Just for sort of kicks or based on what somebody else says, and that way, that is why we say some of those things that we say, like looking it up for kicks. Yes, exactly. Doug just typed for kicks. So that is sort of another little behind the scenes look there as I type behind the scenes while telling you about behind the scenes. Here's my last question for you, Doug. Will the New England Patriots, I don't know why I just had to phrase it that way, but anyway.
Let's say their whole name?
Yeah, I don't know why I just had to say
Is that why everybody says the National Football League instead of NFL?
I don't know.
I don't understand. I was listening to the pregame. Listen, I was listening to pregame for tonight's game, and every single announcer that was doing the pregame was saying the National Football League. They were not saying, the NFL, which is a lot easier to say, by the way.
If you're watching an NFL broadcast, I feel like you should know that the NFL means National Football
League. I think the NFL would like them to say the National Football League. But we could talk about that. We could have a whole show on.
Yeah, I don't get it, but
No, go ahead. Your question
is, will the New England Patriots finally snap their losing streak come Monday night and defeat NFL, and defeat the New York Jets?
Pretty sad I have to think about this.
Yeah.
This is saying a lot.
This is a really big time indictment on the state of the Patriots that you actually have paused when answering that question of a Jets team who, by the way, is 0-8 so far on this 2020 season.
I believe that the Patriots will win this weekend. They will win Monday night. The issue is that they don't have. I believe that they will win. Yeah, that's what I said. If the Jets start to run on the Patriots, then we're going to be in deep trouble because we don't have much of a defense, let alone run defense.
No.
But I still think that the Jets are the Patriots are here and the Jets are like. Wait, can you see my hand? Can you see my hand?
No, a little bit.
The other hand, you can't see the other hand. You know why? Because it's really low.
Yeah.
So I think the Jets are really. I mean, if I have to pause to give an answer.
Yeah,
that should tell you how I feel. And of course, I'm not gonna say they're gonna lose because I always think the Patriots are gonna win no matter what. I don't care who they're playing. But I think they're gonna break out of it. I agree. Yeah, I believe that they're gonna beat the Jets.
I believe that they will win. All right. So
I'm not sure if it's going to be a big turnaround, but I think it's definitely.
It's going to be a win. A win, but hey, a win is a win.
But I will tell you this: if they lose to the Jets, I'm not sure if I want to talk about them.
No,
it's going to be very, very difficult to talk about them next week.
I may just skip the entire Patriots segment next week.
It will be very difficult to talk about because that if they lose on Monday night, they're tanking.
Oh yeah, I mean, the season's over if it wasn't over already. If they're
tanking
the Jets.
I think they got pick number 9 right now. I mean, they're tanking. They're waiting for the top 5.
Not good.
So I think that they're going to try to win every game. Bill's old school, so he's not going to tank on purpose. It's just not in his blood to do that. It's not in his makeup.
Wears hoodies. I know that much.
Yeah, he does wear hoodies and cut off. But makeup. Yeah, I just will have a real hard time with that. But I think
they're going to get it done.
I think they're going to get it done.
I'm cautiously optimistic that they're going to get it done.
I am very cautiously optimistic.
So here's the thing. Hold on a second. Sorry, my phone was being a little wacky.
Excellent. We like wacky phones.
Quick score. Just my life. Quick score update for Thursday Night Football. We have the Green Bay Packers leading the San Francisco 49ers.
Wait. The San Francisco 49ers, they don't have like 59 of their players. So just a quick score update. The score is currently 7-3 Green Bay at the end of the first quarter. Okay.
So there you go.
I don't understand why it's on 33-0 right now, Green Bay.
I know. No, that's the number of players that are out.
Right. I thought it was 50 players around.
49ers. Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
But before we sort of jump ship here over to some other topics, I did want you to if you so choose, I would like you to follow through on your promise or threat, whatever you want to call it, to reenact for us the jump off the ship. Yeah, that's what it feels like watching the Patriots these days.
Sometimes under the ship.
Reenact
with the barnacles.
Cam Newton's fumble, what Cam Newton was thinking. This new one-show segment called "What Cam Newton Was Thinking." We're gonna
do that. We're gonna do that as a new segment. I said I'm gonna run the segment. I'll run it.
Yeah,
it's perfect. It's called "What Cam Was Thinking."
There you go.
Perfect.
There you go.
It's perfect. I'm writing it down. What Cam? Oh, forget it. Yes, what Cam Newton's thinking. That's perfect. That's great. That's a great segment. We're going to do it every week.
Perfect. So for the first installment of what Cam was thinking, why don't you take us through the fourth quarter fumble against the Bills on Sunday?
Okay. So I'm going to take my headphones off.
Yeah.
If I take my headphones off, I'm going to turn you on.
Wait, you look a lot better with them on. So actually put them back on.
All right. So I got my football over here.
Okay, we can hear you, so that's good.
Yeah, I know. What I did was I'm pushing my chair over, and so you got the Patriots football.
Yeah.
This is the one I think Cam Newton played.
Yeah.
Because it's really soft and it's easy to drop.
Yeah.
So this is what he was thinking. So I'm going to go out of the screen for a second.
Okay.
And I'm going to go into the screen, and I'm going to show you what he was thinking. Okay.
By the way, I love the fact we are partially an audio show. I don't know if the people that are listening to this are gonna have any idea what's happening.
I'm off screen right now.
Yeah, I know. I know you're gonna really like. I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna come into. We're hoping people see this on YouTube and not anything else.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna hold the ball and I'm gonna do my cam.
Yeah.
Hold on 2 seconds. I'm gonna do a better cam. Hold on. Don't go anywhere.
Folks, this is part of the program that we like to call. There we go. Hold on, he's back.
Every time we do this. Oh yeah! Oh! Check it out!
Oh jeez!
Check it out! This is not a Cam Newton shirt, but
Doug is putting on a Patriots jersey for this segment. Wait, hold on, turn around. Let's see the back. Let's see the back. It's got Doc Z as the name. It looks
like it's my dad's shirt.
So he's got Doc Z with the number 1
my dad's shirt, but look, it's got
very cool.
It's got the Cam number on it, baby. So I can do this, real now.
There you go.
All right. So I'm out of the screen for those people on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I'm off the screen. I'm gonna come on screen, and the segment's called what?
What was Cam thinking?
What was Cam thinking? There it goes.
What was Cam thinking? Yeah.
Coming on screen. I'm on the screen. I'm coming on the screen right now. And I'm looking like this. I'm going, hey, someone's wearing my hat in the stands. Oh, no, drop the ball. Oh, no, somebody else picked it up. What do I do? That's exactly what Cam was thinking.
I love the fact that you go with somebody's wearing my hat in the stadium where there are absolutely no fans.
Hey, listen, it could have been one of the guys. It could have been one of the
that's great.
One of the other guys. Who knows? I don't know.
Folks, that's definitely
there are people there, but they're not. They're kind of either with the team or whatever.
Or security
ground
or whatever,
crew.
Yeah.
Could have been a ground crew guy who was wearing one.
Yeah. So, folks, that is our new segment. What was Cam thinking? And
what was Cam thinking?
A plus effort on the initial segment there. So
thank you. Well, we'll continue the Cam. What was Cam thinking?
Yeah.
We will continue that segment every week while the Patriots is still going.
Wait, hold on, Doug. I got an idea. If you could push the chair back for the folks on SoundCloud, I'm actually going to take a picture of Doug in the jersey, and that'll be our sort of header. That'll be sort of our header picture for this episode. Hold on 1 second. And there you go. All right. So hopefully that comes out well. I love it. That's perfect.
Do a little production within the production.
Little production in the production. That's right. We last week we were literally discussing how the episode was going to go while we were recording it. This week,
this is a real shirt, man.
I know. I love it. Hey, I love it, man.
This is a real shirt.
Perfect. But I do want
a number on it. Yeah, go ahead.
I do want to sort of change course here a little bit and move on to some news that kind of caught me a little bit by surprise the other day, and that is from our good old Boston Celtics, because they're in the off season right now, and I just want to touch on this quickly because it came out in the last couple of days, and that is Gordon Hayward. There are some rumors floating around out there that he might want out of Boston and might be considering opting out to go try to get a bigger deal somewhere else. I don't know how he thinks he's going to find a bigger deal somewhere else than what he has right now, but I just kind of wanted to touch on this because, like I said, it was in the news. I've sort of been reading about over the past couple of days. I want to get sort of your take on Doug, basketball aficionado that you are. I want to get sort of your take on. But I love the fact that you're just sort of completely ditched the headphones.
Put them back on.
Yeah, I just want to get sort of your take on the rumor, so to speak, that is out there of Gordon Hayward maybe possibly his days in Boston being numbered.
Yes, I did hear the rumor. And really want to know my thoughts on this?
Sure.
Yeah, I think you do. My
I
thoughts
asked you the
are
question,
is
so I think
yeah,
I'm all yours.
I'll tell you, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I
all
can't.
for it.
The
And let
funny
me
thing is, I
tell you,
can't disagree. Right off the top, I'll say
there's a
this: I
couple
can't
of
disagree with that.
there's a couple of things out there that I know he wants to opt out if he can get a deal like the similar deal elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think he's going to opt out anyway. I don't think he's going to get a deal like he just got because I guess you could say he's damaged goods, but it's not just damaged goods. He just hasn't played well. Ever since he got hurt, he hasn't played well.
Yeah.
And
He's not played up to
that's
expectations.
it's like a super problem. But if you can, a couple of thoughts, and a couple of thoughts is that he may want to go to Indiana, and if he wants to go to Indiana, we have how many thoughts exactly? A couple, 2 and 2, maybe 4. He may want to go to Indiana. Indiana, the possibility of getting Oladipo and Miles Davis would be incredible for the Celtics. It would be a steal. Now, there's some other thoughts in the fact that they're trying to. I saw some reports that the Celtics are going to try to, and again, we'll have some more Celtics talk as things kind of evolve and we get into later dates. But there are some reports out there that the Celtics are trying to move up in the draft. Danny's throwing the picks out there.
Wait, can I just? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Doug, but did you mean Miles Turner?
I meant Miles Turner.
Miles
Davis is a guy who plays jazz. I meant Miles Turner.
I was really wondering.
I told you my names are not really good tonight. I don't really know why.
I was wondering.
I got the Miles right.
No, you got the Miles right, but I was like, Miles Davis, isn't he?
Miles Davis. Doesn't he play trumpet?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Miles Turner, who is the center for the Indiana Pacers.
Usually I'm the one that flubs up the names.
You're definitely the one that flubs up the names, but I'm just doing that for you tonight. That was funny. So
new NBA player Miles Davis.
Miles Davis, who plays the national anthem before he goes out and puts the uniform on. Oh boy. So I think what it comes down to is that they're kind of trying to move up in the draft too. They're looking at some big guys.
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Yep.
They're
trying to do that with like all the picks that Danny has, all the first round picks that Danny has. They're trying to move up. And then I just saw a report, which I haven't read yet, so I'm just going to throw it out there because I'm just going to throw out the headline is that can the Celtics get a formidable moving on up? That's right. Can they get a big man, a veteran big man for some of the picks that they have? So we'll
I heard somebody refer to it as a Bam Adebayo clone. Basically, is what they're looking for.
There's a guy out there, and they're looking at this guy and I think he's a top 10 pick. He should be a top 10 pick, but you never know. But they're looking at this guy and saying this guy is exactly. So we'll have to see. But I have not read the report on the Celtics go and pick, put their picks out there, and get a solid veteran. So that's possible too. So we'll see. But let me tell you, Gordon Hayward. See you later, buddy.
Oh, well,
bye-bye.
That was sort of
I don't have any problem with that at all. And actually, I hope that happens.
Well, that was going to be my follow-up and sort of final yes or no question. Will Gordon Hayward ultimately leave Boston this offseason?
I think he will, whether he opts out or whether he's traded.
Okay.
I think he's gone.
I think it's a very fair.
I think he's
it's a
gone
fair
because I
assessment.
think they're moving in a different direction right now.
I don't really
I
have
think that
anything
they
to
thought.
add.
I think that I think Danny's thought was, Robbie, is that he would. He obviously didn't think he was going to have a horrific injury, and that was horrible. But my thought is that new segment, Danny thoughts. That's right. Is that Danny thoughts too? Okay, we'll do that during the basketball season. Doesn't have to be a player. Should it be a player? Anyway.
You're the one who said Danny's thoughts. I was just kind of jumping on it.
I think initially when Danny first brought him in was the fact that he was going to be a shooter that you could bring in either a starter or off the bench, and that he obviously he got hurt and he was done for a whole year, and then when he came back, it took him a while to come back, and he hasn't really been the same player. I think it's been really difficult, and I think they're going to be heading in another direction.
Yeah.
I think they were really, really super close to getting to the finals, and Danny was like climbing the walls, thinking, "Oh, if we just had this guy." And I think that's probably where they're headed. They're just moving into another direction.
I think it's
and let me tell, but I'll tell you, they got. If this is more than a rumor, if this is like for real, that he just doesn't want it in Boston anymore, fine with me. Fine with me. I don't care if he opts out or they trade him. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Like I said, I think it's a fair assessment, and we'll obviously wait and see what happens. But I think what you're saying is very fair and reasonable at this point with him. So so it remains to be seen what will happen with Gordon Hayward and whether or not he will be on the Boston Celtics whenever and wherever the 2020-21 season may begin for the NBA, which we'll have more on as it gets closer.
By the way, Robbie, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
I just wanted to tell you that the first round picks that the Celtics have are picks. They're all first round. They're number 14, number 26, and number 30 overall.
Okay.
Those are the picks that he has that he's trying to package together to possibly either move up in the draft or possibly be able to land a veteron to help out.
Well, again, remains to be seen. Yep, we'll definitely. Still a bunch of off season left to go. I did, because this has sort of been definitely has been on the news, sort of in the news these past couple of days, and that is the Boston Red Sox. Yep, Doug he was rocking the shirt.
I still have the shirt on. It's just under the Cam shirt.
Yeah, it's underneath the Cam shirt. The first thing I wanted to do before we get into the Red Sox was sort of touch on, because obviously we didn't touch on it last week because of our special 60th episode, was just sort of touch on the World Series briefly. Obviously the LA Dodgers, I think I may have mentioned this at the end of the episode a little bit. The LA Dodgers won the World Series. Obviously, congratulations to them. Our old pal Mookie Betts gets his second, gets another World Series title, and that has titles in both leagues. So there's that. There was Justin Turner testing positive during the game.
That's Miles Turner's brother.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not. And that's the first point I wanted to sort of discuss with you, Doug. Before we sort of touch, like I said, briefly on the World Series in general and sort of the Dodgers winning it. What are your thoughts as, just seeing what's been going on in the world, these days, and to see, obviously is
there anything going on in the world?
I mean, just a little bit going on. I don't know. Hide in your bunker. You better go back to your bunker, because there's some
Fall
stuff
back onto your rock,
there.
dudes. Get back under there.
Yeah, get back now.
Go back
now.
No, it's time.
No, I was gonna say is, obviously I feel bad for Justin Turner. I mean, obviously you don't want to see anybody, be diagnosed with this virus, COVID-19 and all of that. But I want to get your take on sort of the way he and the Dodgers and MLB kind of handled it, because obviously they take him out of the game, they put him into isolation, but then he comes back onto the field for the post-game celebration and takes his mask off, during the team photo. I mean, hey, listen, I understand that you just won a World Series and that you're, the excitement and all that. I get that. But I think there's bigger sort of forces at play here that you need to be wary of, especially as a professional athlete, who's really in the spotlight there. So I want to get your take on it, Doug, before sort of just now that I brought it up.
I think in this crazy world that we're living in right now, which is kind of crazy, it's gotten crazier, and will continue to be crazy until until certain things kind of happen, and then we kind of move on.
Right.
Without mentioning anything that's going on.
No.
So
I never want to get too political on this show. I'm not trying to get political.
Everybody knows. Everybody
I'm not
knows.
trying to get political with this. I'm more talking about.
No, this is November 5th. Everybody knows what's going on, so we don't just talk about it. So I think it was really irresponsible. A little bit irresponsible. I understand Justin Turner's wanting to go out. I understand his teammates were the ones who told him to go out. I understand he won the World Series, and he may never, ever get there again. He's how old, Robbie? Is he 35?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so he may never have this again. And I believe he's a free agent, too. So he may never experience this again. So I can understand his thought process and obviously his teammates' thought process is to be able to tell him, yeah, come on out. What he should have done was he should have kept his mask on, because it's irresponsible for people for him to do that, because
he is 35. Yeah, I just looked it up.
See, I'm right. See, I know what I'm talking about sometimes. I may not get the names right, but Justin Miles Turner.
Miles Davis. Yeah.
Miles Davis Turner. Justin. So I think MLB did not handle it the right way. I think they should have kept him in isolation, and
it seems like they tried to get him back into isolation, but he just refused to go.
Yeah, and the fact is that the people that were around him have been tested, and nothing has come up positive yet.
True.
So it's one of those things where, in hindsight, probably not a good idea, but on the flip side of it, maybe it wasn't so bad. It was outside that he was outside. So I don't know. I think MLB should have handled it in a better way.
I think
I totally understand what he's. Well, I don't understand, because I've never won a World Series.
Really?
But not that I know of. Maybe in a past life. But I can understand the feeling of wanting to be out there with your team. Problem is that we're dealing with a pandemic, and you got to be responsible. So, and I feel that MLB blew it. They just blew it. Maybe they thought, hey, they're not playing any more games. Who cares?
But I also think, I mean, I'm not trying to say that you are or anything, but I also think some of the responsibility needs to lie on Justin Turner himself. I mean,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to know and just have the responsibility as an adult, as someone who's seen what this pandemic has done to this country and done to pro sports in a lot of ways. Given how different the MLB season looked because of it, to say this and the potentially putting my teammates and their families and all that at risk, kind of outweighs this whole idea of me wanting to celebrate winning a World Series. And I think, unfortunately, maybe he got too caught up in the moment. I don't know. I think MLB definitely bears a burden of responsibility. But I think, Justin Turner he's an adult. He should have made a much better decision than he did, and it's just very disappointing from on a number of levels to see something like that happen. I mean, and listen, I feel for the guy, testing positive and all that, but to do what he did in the aftermath was really, how many levels? Like 10. But yeah, thank you. But yeah, I think he needs to sort of take responsibility for the fact that, he did not think that decision through well enough, in my opinion. So
I actually agree with that. I agree with that too. It's mainly the responsibility of him, but obviously, the MLB has some part of that. So I think
right.
it
falls both ways. It definitely falls both ways.
I agree. I agree with
no
that.
question.
Yeah.
But now, moving on from that to the local nine, so to speak, the Boston Red Sox, because they
Boston Red Sox.
The Boston Red Sox, because they sound like they're getting relatively close to naming a new manager. It's going to be Doug. The breaking news right now: Doug Ziman is the new manager of the Boston Red Sox.
I lost the presidency to the manager of the Boston Red Sox.
Huh?
You're like, what?
What?
I didn't get president, like I said at the beginning. I didn't get the presidency,
Right.
but I did get the manager job for the Boston Red Sox.
No, I think that just went right over my head. But anyway,
twice. Not just once, Robbie.
2 times.
I said it twice, and it went.
No, you know what happened? He lost to Miles Davis. He lost to Miles Davis.
I lost the presidency to Miles Davis.
Yeah.
I used to play trumpet, but not as good as he was.
Yeah, probably. I can imagine that. But yeah, so the John Heyman of MLB Network, I believe it is, came out today. He came out. And reported, not that type
Really?
of coming.
I don't think he did that, Robbie. I do not.
I was trying.
I think you're reporting something that's real over here. Wait, should we look this up? This definitely needs to be looked up.
He reported.
Yes, there you go.
He came out and reported.
Oh, he didn't come out anything. He reported it. He hasn't come out that I know of. I don't know. It's not it's not our job to know that. Go ahead.
Miles Davis ain't walking through that door.
Miles Davis say what?
Ain't walking through that door.
Neither is Mikhail or Bird.
Mikhail
be old and gray.
Yeah. But anyway, John Heyman basically reported that the Sox are down to 2 candidates. They're down to old friend Alex Cora, who is just coming off of his year-long MLB suspension, and Sam Fuld, who former MLB player and current.
He played when and with who?
With the Rays.
Oh yeah, he played with the Rays.
But currently works for the Philadelphia Phillies. As
the bucket boy.
knows Chaim Bloom, obviously, because Chaim Bloom, used to work for the Rays. So, it's a bit of a connection there. The interesting thing, quick side note about Sam Fuld, and I sort of say this based on past episodes that we have had. Sam Fuld's middle name, I discovered, is Babson. Just a random kind of.
His middle name is Babson?
Yeah.
What, his parents hate him or something?
Sam Babson Fuld, apparently.
Sam Babson?
So,
okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Here's to Jamie Rice
Yeah, and Matt Noon.
and Matt Noon. Thank
Shout
you
out
guys for
Matt
coming on.
Noon. Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Ooh.
But yeah, I just wanted to sort of get your take, Doug, on just those two names being announced and where you think that the Red Sox managerial hunt will ultimately go. Now that we know now we sort of hit the final stretch of it.
Bless you. Bless you. Oh,
Thank you.
you see, when you're live, you can't stop that.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
all right. It's all good. It's all good. You can't.
Anyway,
You go off screen.
go off screen for 1 minute.
Okay, I'll talk. While Robbie goes and wipes off the screen that needs to be wiped off. So my thoughts is that I just told a whole bunch of stories about you that everybody knows now.
I could hear you
Okay.
off screen.
Oh, you can't because you have headphones.
No, I could hear you.
Good try. That's why I'll plug my headphones before. So anyway, so it's between Alex and Babson. So that's what we're talking about. It's either between Alex and Babson. So my thought process on this whole thing is that this is going to be Chaim Bloom's decision. I mean, ultimately, it's his decision anyway. Obviously. But what I'm talking about is that does he have his own guy? And is this guy Sam Babson, Miles Davis? Is he the guy? Or is Alex really the guy? I mean, my thought process is that Alex knows the team. Sam Babson, Miles Davis, Turner Fold. Long ass name, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be him. That'd be how you gonna put that on a shirt? You put Turner Fold on the shirt, or did you just put
Sam BMD?
Yeah, you just do the acronym, right? So my thought process is I think Alex Cora is a better, in my mind, not in anybody else's mind, not your mind, maybe in your mind, I don't know. Alex Cora is a better fit, and the reason he is several things. Get out of my mind. Okay, I will. The reason he's a good fit is because, number one, he knows most of the players. Number two, he knows most of the younger players. That's important. That's huge. Number three, he knows how to talk to this Boston media. He's already been successful.
Yeah.
Yes, he was part of a cheating scandal. Do I think he started it? No. I don't think he started it. I think it was part of it, but I don't think he started it. He has served a year suspension for this. Okay? He served his time. He was punished for what he did, and he served his time. He didn't start the fire. Thank you very much, Billy Joe. So my thought process is with all that credential, especially,
I'm glad you got the reference.
Especially, of course I did.
No, I know.
I went to Emerson College. I studied music, of course. Are you kidding me? DJ for 30 years. I've been a DJ.
No, I know.
The fire, please. Billy Joel. Right. Anyway, he knows how to talk to the Boston media, and it's very, very difficult. He knows how to handle the Boston media, which is also very difficult.
Right.
Because when you're sucking wind, which, by the way, he did, not 2018, but I'm talking later on.
The next year.
The next year, which, by the way, is, wait, I'll get it, 2019.
Yeah.
He knew how to speak to the media. He knew what to say. He knew how to say it. And I think that's something that's really, really important in this market.
Right.
I don't know who Chaim Bloom is going to pick. I don't. My personal opinion is that Alex Cora is slightly, and since I don't know this guy from a hole in the wall, and we've seen Alex here, and we know what kind of manager he is. He was successful one year and not successful the next year, but he did a great job with both of those years in talking to the media, being, building up players, building up young players. The players loved him.
Right.
So I think part of it is not just whether he could manage or not. Part of it is a clubhouse guy.
Right.
Who's going to be in the clubhouse? The other part of it is that all this thing about numbers, Moneyball, right? All these things about numbers. We're talking about the World Series. We're talking about
exactly. Hence why Blake Snell was pulled like 3 innings too early in Game 6 of said World Series.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. That was based on not because his arm was jello. It was based on numbers.
Yeah.
It was based on numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And is this fooled guy? Is this Sam Babson, Miles Davis, Turner fooled? Is this guy a numbers guy? If he's a numbers guy, I don't want him here, because you can't do that. You can't base everything on numbers. You have to base it on how the player is. And yeah, you can have a pitch count. That's fine if he's hurt. But other than that, I'm a baseball purist.
Same.
Have the guy out there until he screws up, and then you take him out.
Yeah.
Don't take him out when he's striking everybody out, including the best players in the world. So
unless you're Grady Little.
That's true too. And again, that was stupid too. That was dumb.
Just really quick side question: which decision do you think was worse, Cash pulling Snell, or Grady Little not pulling Pedro?
I think it was Cash pulling Snell.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because that was the game.
Yeah.
That was the game.
Pedro could have maybe gotten those guys out, or maybe the bullpen would have. But literally, you pulling Blake Snell when he's dealing out of his mind in a winner-go-home World Series game, it's just the epitome of stupid.
Absolutely. I just think that was more stupid. So that's my personal opinion on that, is that I think that Alex Cora is the better candidate.
Right.
Of course, it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea. I know that. Yeah,
it's
go
gonna
ahead.
it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, because what a lot of people are sort of saying is that it might sort of also sort of give an inside look to who's really what influences and sort of what's making those types of decisions for the Red Sox. Because obviously, if it's fooled, it could be that Chaim Bloom actually is kind of like the one really making the decisions. But then if it goes back
this
to
is
Cora,
his guy.
because that's his guy. But if it's Cora, who's sort of the players and ownership's guy, then you could start to kind of look at it in a different lens there. So it's going to be very interesting, I think, to see which way it comes out from that perspective, along with other things.
Absolutely, but I also don't think that Don Henry or any of the upper management should come in and say, you know what, we want Alex Cora over this guy. No, you pick fool. We want Alex Cora. I don't think they should do that, because that's going to undermine the authority of Chaim Bloom. Chaim Bloom needs to hire his own people. And let me tell you, they went down there. They went down. It's Puerto Rico, right? They went down to Puerto Rico to talk to Alex Cora, and they did it over a day's period. So they talked to him for a significant amount of time down there. I think some of it was going to discuss, how you're going to explain, what you did, and this kind of stuff, and what are you going to say to people? And I'm sure that was part of it. But I think. I think it's really important that upper management make Chaim Bloom make that decision.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
I agree completely. Again, it still remains to be seen. Obviously, they're teasing. There might be, the thought right now is that we could have an announcement as early as tomorrow, or by the end of this week or weekend. So we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. It's kind of like one of those situations where it could go either way, as far as I'm concerned. I could sort of see it going both ways, and so that's the thing.
Really.
I can see it
Wait a
go
minute.
both
Wait a
ways.
minute. Is this John Heyman?
I was about to say
again?
yeah. I was wondering.
About?
I was wondering if you were
Oh
going to
my
go.
goodness.
No, I could kind of see it go. I could kind of see it going either to Cora or to Fall. I guess we're just unfortunately we're gonna kind of have to wait and see which way the chips fall there. So a lot remains to be seen. The one last thing that I wanted to touch on here when it comes to MLB is that there is also some talk, or there was some talk by Commissioner Rob Manfred, good old Commissioner Rob, that he is open to the possibility of playing a neutral site World Series going forward. And that has sort of ignited a big debate between baseball purists and between, sort of different schools of thought there. So, Doug, you and I are both definitely baseball purists. I think we can.
Oh yeah.
Definitely say that right up front. So, sort of, with that being said, what are your thoughts about the possibility, the thought of a neutral site World Series going forward?
I'm still a baseball purist. I have a real hard time with that, but I can understand what their thoughts are, what they're thinking on that. But I seriously think they're thinking too much, Robbie. I really do. I think MLB is trying to change the game and overthinking big time. And I think this is the first thing that you've chatted with that I actually agree with, except for the guy's name, Sam Babson, Miles Davis Turner.
So you don't agree? You didn't agree when I typed in 2 + 2 = 4?
No. Is it 4?
Yes.
Just check it. I do think they're overthinking. I think they're overthinking a lot of things because of what's going on in the world, and I understand that. I get it. Because I'm going through it too, so I get it. It's not just them. So I can understand that they're trying to think of ways of speeding up the game, and they're trying to think of ways of, because people aren't watching it, and the numbers are down, and the TV watching numbers are down. And I can totally understand why they're not Waze the app. No, not Waze the app.
You said way. You said way. So sort of play on the word ways there.
Play on word Waze, great, and that's that app that tells you where to go. It's like
it's a GPS app. Yeah, basically.
Yes, app, excellent.
Hey, Waze, you want to sponsor us? I just gave you free publicity.
Yeah, please come and sponsor. I totally think they're overthinking this.
Oh yeah,
I really do.
No,
I really think they're overthinking.
I mean, listen, I completely agree with you. I think they're totally overthinking.
I am listening. What makes you think I'm not listening to you?
I have a hard problem with it, because there's just something magical about playing a World Series game, especially a World Series clincher game. Shut up. About playing a World Series clincher game in your home ballpark. I mean, you look at 2013. Just what a night that was to be able to clinch the World Series in your home ballpark. Just all the epic, World Series Game 7s that have happened, in Arizona and Florida and all these different. It just takes something away from it when you have it at a neutral site and you have kind of both teams' fan bases. Both teams' fan bases. Yes, I'm Walt Disney. I forgot to tell you. You have both teams' fan bases kind of canceling each other out. It feels, and just sort of said, crowd noise. Well, it's not the same. It is not the same as having a jam-packed, home ballpark. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I really hope that does not come to fruition. I mean, listen, I got the opportunity, you know, in 2018. We were talking about 2018 just a minute ago. I got the opportunity to go for the first time in my life to a World Series game. Game 1 against the Dodgers. I mean, just it was just so special. It's such a different atmosphere than you would see at any other regular season or even any other playoff game. I mean, people, save their whole lives just to be. I mean, people, baseball fans, their bucket list item is to go to a World Series game in their home team's ballpark, not to have to travel to Houston or to San Diego to go watch their favorite team in a World Series game. I mean, it just, as the baseball purist that Doug, you and I both are. I have a real big problem with it. I really, really hope it doesn't happen. I really do. So.
Yeah, again, I think they're overthinking. I really do. I think they're trying to think of ways of doing different things to change the game, and
there you go.
Some of them are okay. Some of them are okay. Some of them aren't. It's WAYS. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How about that? Yeah?
You are oozing with MLB. What? What?
You're just like, and oozing. Things are coming out, man.
I understand.
Magical. It's magical. The things are coming out with you. Magical. For Walt Disney there. But yeah, no, I just think they just got to sit down and.
By the way, any of you that are interested in the podcast industry, I am looking for a new co-host for Sports Blitz. Submit your resumes to the Sports Blitz.
To Robbie Dumbass.
P.O. Box, Doug's former show.
.com.
Yeah.
Oh, just send.
At Miles Davis.
Just send him to Sam Babson, Miles Davis, Turner, Fooled.com.
At magic.ways.
At magical.mlb.
Yeah. All right. Before we get completely off the rails, if we have not done.
Oh yeah, we're already there, dude.
We are going to begin to sort of wrap things up and go into our final thoughts for episode number 61. So, Doug, take it away with your final thought of the evening.
Well, Robbie, my final thought of the evening is, I don't know. No, I do know. So, what I'm thinking is in the rest, to think of this sentence right here. It's not even a sentence. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. 5 words. And the rest was history. 24 years ago today, Kobe Bryant got his first point.
Oh, wow.
24 years ago today. Unbelievable.
And
they actually have
by the way,
point.
Doug, by the way, what was his number? 24.
And do you know how he got his first point?
I'm gonna guess a free throw.
Yep. That's how he got his first point. It was a free throw.
There you go.
Yep. It was. That was his first point. Wow. And all it says is first of many. First of many, but yeah, RIP, obviously. But I just thought that was something that I wanted to bring up today because I saw it on there. Growing up in Boston, growing up a Celtics fan, couldn't stand the Lakers. The Lakers were hated because we always played them in the 80s, and I always watched. Actually, I had headphones on during my high school graduation because that was the 6th or 7th game of the 5th or 6th game of the finals that was going on at the time. We all were wearing headphones. We were all going score, tell the score, blah, blah. That was it. But you know what? The fact is that you have to respect those guys. You have to respect the game, which I do, which I happen to love. But you also respect Kobe Bryant. You respect Magic Johnson. Jabbar. And, you respect those guys. You respect the talent. You may not like them, although I think Magic's really fun. You always thought Magic and Bird never liked each other. Guess what? They were the best of friends. And, it's just one of those things where I just thought I'd bring it up because I saw it and I thought it was pretty cool. And that's my final thought for this episode.
Very nice.
Robbie,
Very nice.
So, Robbie, going to bring it over to you. What's your final thought for this episode number 61?
Yeah, so my final thought is that the Patriots suck, but that is a thought, but that's not my final thought. But it is football. It is football related. It's sort of going down to the college game, the good old college game. Obviously, if you've listened to the show before, watched the show before, you've probably heard me mention multiple times that I am a big Boston College football fan.
Boston College fan.
BC, the good old Eagles over in Chestnut Hill there. And they played this past Saturday against the number one team in the nation, the Clemson Tigers.
And who wasn't there playing because of COVID?
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, thank you. And how did BC do, Robbie?
So that's what I'm getting to. Okay. Is that BC led 28-13 at halftime. However, Clemson did come back and score 21 unanswered in the second half to win the game 34-28. But what I will say is compared to past year's BC Clemson matchups, just what I saw out of this team on Saturday, albeit playing against the Clemson team without Trevor Lawrence, albeit all that sort of stuff off the side, what I saw was a BC team that played which is so much more heart and determination and grit that I've seen before under past, especially the most recent previous coaching administration. And what I think I mentioned this before is that Jeff Hafley, the new coach, who by the way again was former defensive coordinator at Ohio State, formerly in the NFL, he has come in and has really brought in from the very beginning a new attitude with this football program. And I think it's evident, even in a game like that, yes, obviously Trevor Lawrence was out. Again, obviously that made a difference. Clemson still won, by the way, so that, maybe should go to show something right there how talented of a team Clemson is even without him. But new attitude, that's right. But I really do think that BC, just watching the way they played that game on Saturday really sort of shows me the new direction that this BC team is going in. I think it's a really good one. And it makes me, this year I think they have a chance, to win some more games and to have a very good overall record, even though I think they stand at 4-3 right now. But it makes me really excited going forward for the future of BC football. I know I mentioned this a bunch before. I know have brought this up before, but Saturday really, despite the loss, really re-emphasized to me that this is not the BC team that we've been sort of used to seeing over the past few years. And like I said, it was too bad that they lost on Saturday. I got my hopes up in the first half, and unfortunately they came crashing back down to earth in the second half, but it definitely showed me a lot of positive things about this program, despite the loss. So that was just sort of that was my final thought for this.
Yeah, I was listening to it actually a little bit, probably about a half an hour or so. John Meter Perel was on there doing the cat. Oh my God! Doing the radio broadcast. Oh my goodness! Doing the radio broadcast, and it's I don't have any words right now. And I thought they played really, really well. Yeah, definitely. And then I totally agree with what Not that I'm sucking up right
You never do. I mean, yeah, it's like you've really
I'm
been
sucking up because you want to replace me, so I'm sucking up to you. So you're awesome, you're fabulous, you're fantastic, and I love you, man.
I love you.
Love you, man.
No, it's obviously, yeah. Resumes can still be sent to
Not right, man. It's just not right.
Doug's replacement, despite his suck uppiness, at gmail.com. Yeah, exactly.
.net.
Exactly.
.org.
Words. But yeah, so anyway, in all seriousness, thank you everybody as always for tuning in tonight to episode 61. We got a lot more exciting stuff coming at you down the road, including starting with episode 62. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right after 61, man.
That's right. Mark McGwire hit a 60-second home run against the Cubs in 1998. Fun fact of the night. There's a movie called 62 that documents Roger Maris. Anyway.
That's very nice.
Shut up. We gotta get one more in there before the end of the episode. But no, anyway.
Thanks.
A lot of exciting stuff coming down the road, folks. So I hope that you'll keep a lookout for that as we stumble through words.
And what are we on, Robbie? We're on
SoundCloud. We're on YouTube, our own YouTube channel, Sports
Check us
Blitz
out.
YouTube channel.
All the episodes.
Facebook, Twitter, everything. I mean, we're out there and we're very excited.
We're out there. You guys have any show and all that? You guys have any show requests? Please, hit us up for that. We'll do it. We'll do it. We want to see more. Want to see more Kim. We also have other stuff that's coming down the road, which is great. We have some more guests down the road, and we also have, we keep getting these new segments that we're starting to do, so it should be real fun. By the way, please check it out if you haven't yet. Watch 2 things. Episode number 60.
Yeah.
Sports Blitz, episode number 60. It's awesome if you like movie trivia and you like video game trivia. Unbelievable episode. It's great. We have a special guest, Kyle. Was on. It was awesome. Please watch that. And please check out the new On the Couch Talking Sports with Kyle and Robbie. Check it out. Shameless plug, but we have to plug each other.
Just filmed last night. Is out today.
That's right. So, that's right. Watch it. It's awesome. Those guys are great. Not as great as us. Wait a minute. Robbie's part of that. No, never mind.
I'm equally great, so it's okay.
So, oh my goodness. Somebody send Brookline Ice. Can you send a truck of ice to Robbie's house so he can put it on his head so he can fit out his bedroom door?
Yes, that would be. I think that's the whole reason I've been stuck in here for so long. Is my head's so big I can't get out.
He just can't get out. He really can't. So send him letters and please, if you watch the episode, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the bell.
That's right. But anyway, thanks as always for joining us, everybody. Stay safe out there. Stay well, as always. And again, thank you for joining us for episode number 61 of the Sports Blitz. That wraps it up for us. For Doug, I'm Robbie. And this is the Sports Blitz, and we will see you next time for episode number 62. Bye, everybody.
Take care, guys.